So I would be willing to wager, put a bet, double down on the fact that I will be the only reviewer who will not do an Australian accent in their review of Elimination Chamber. I've got to separate myself from the crowd and make myself distinct. There will be no Australian accents in this video. We'll see when we're 20 minutes in, and there'll be an Australian accent timer or something like that at the bottom. I will not do it. I will not do the accent. Elimination Chamber was fun though, wasn't it? Hello and welcome to FTTR. I am Hugh McQuaid, and today we are talking about WWE Elimination Chamber Perth. I don't know if we're fully calling it that with like the place behind it, like Backlash France might be. We'll see about that. But Elimination Chamber 2024 is in the books, emanating from Australia at a lovely, lovely time of 10 o'clock in the morning for me. I was there with my cereal and then had my dinner halfway through. It was bloody lovely to do that. And yeah, it was a show with some ups, with some downs. I want to talk about every single one of them. But before we dive into that, please hit subscribe, please like this video, please comment your thoughts down below on Elimination Chamber, and I'll try and apply to every single one of them. So this show, I think, epitomises 3 out of 5. For me, this was nothing spectacular, nothing terrible. It was just bog standard fine. Me as a person, I don't necessarily love the Elimination Chamber as a concept to begin with, and I certainly don't like the positioning of it in between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. But I think overall this was like just perfectly fine. It had some moments that I really loved, it had some moments that I was iffy on, nothing that I hated outright, and it was just completely fine. Like, I don't know what you want me to say. I've seen a lot of people really enjoy this show, and maybe I'm in the minority on this. I personally preferred the women's Elimination Chamber to the men's Elimination Chamber. So yeah, I might be in the minority on this. I haven't checked the full consensus because the show finished about 20 minutes ago. But yeah, let's dive straight into this, starting with the opening video package, which was cool. Rhea Ripley themed, Motionless in White doing the music for Elimination Chamber, because of course they are. And we had our opening match, which was the Women's Elimination Chamber match with the opportunity to face either Nia Jax or Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship at WrestleMania. You had Naomi taking on Becky Lynch, taking on Liv Morgan, taking on Tiffany Stratton, taking on Bianca Belair, taking on Raquel Rodriguez. So I personally thought this match was better than the men's. However, I will not excuse that I thought this started off a bit wooden and a bit sort of iffy in places with Becky Lynch and Naomi. It was a little bit clunky, very heavily choreographed. But this match took a direct turn when Tiffany Stratton entered the match. Now, Tiffany Stratton, I did not expect to be the most over person other than Rhea Ripley on this entire show. But my God, like, she was getting nuclear reactions from the crowd, like absolutely nuclear. Anything she did, she was getting cheered, and I was like, I don't think Tiffany Stratton's from Australia. Like, I don't think she is. But no, people have just clearly got on board with her character and her moveset, or the people of Australia are just great big fans of her NXT run, perhaps. Who knows? But when she came in, she was getting the really cool spot. She got the big dive. She hit the big Alabama slams. She was in third. Just let me double check my notes to make sure I've got the order of these people right. Liv Morgan entered fourth. Liv Morgan, who is ice cold for me at the moment, sadly. And then you had like Tiffany Stratton taking insane bumps. She just got battered around in this match, and then battered around more when Raquel joined the fray. Raquel Rodriguez, for me, is good wrestler, but her character is just a person at this point. I think if anyone could benefit from maybe going to NXT and just figuring something out, it's Raquel, because she was a sort of non-factor in this for me. And then Bianca was in at 6. I like that they bookended the match with Bianca and Becky, and I thought we were going to get sort of the stare down between the two in this match, but we didn't. We got a nice twist on the finish. Tiffany Stratton hit a big swanton bomb from the top. She also pinned Naomi, which was pretty interesting. Naomi hit a big sunset flip from the pod to Liv Morgan, and then Tiffany Stratton snuck in and rolled up Naomi. And then I believe it was Liv Morgan eliminated Tiffany Stratton, which I was sad about. Bianca Belair, I believe, eliminated Raquel with a KOD. And then the final 3 of Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, and Becky Lynch, I thought was fantastic. I think they worked some really cool spots into this. It was counter after counter after counter after counter until eventually Liv Morgan rolls up Bianca Belair, which I thought was nice. I thought, cool, we haven't got that. And then she immediately turns into a manhandle slam from Becky Lynch for the 1-2-3. Becky Lynch is going to face either Rhea Ripley or Nia Jax. Right decision, of course. I just think if one thing really hampered this show, it was predictability, which I'll get to in a little bit, because it was just, we all knew who was going to win every single match on this show, and that hurt it a little bit in my estimations. But this final stretch I thought was fantastic. I really, really enjoyed it, and I'm happy to see Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley. I think that's the match we want. I'm excited to see where we go from here with the other participants in here, what they're doing at WrestleMania. Maybe we'll get Bianca versus Tiffany Stratton. I think there's a lot you can do with Bianca Belair's WrestleMania streak, and I really hope they play that up and they don't end it soon, because that is something you could really, really build on, is the EST at WrestleMania. So yeah, really fun chamber match for me. Not my match of the night though. We'll get to that in a moment. Next up, we got my match of the night, which was the Judgment Day defending their undisputed tag team titles against the New Catch Republic, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. This was bloody fantastic. I loved this match. This was so good. Dom at the beginning getting the most nuclear of nuclear heat, to the point where I thought they turned his mic down, but that's not been corroborated. So I think the crowd was just nuclear for Dom and just booing the ever-loving piss out of him, and it was lovely to see. And then we got off to a really hot start as he gets jumped by Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. And Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, my God, British Strong Style, they are just fantastic together, and they got so much in on this match. They got 3 really close near falls, 2 on Balor and another one on Damian Priest, where I was like, oh my God, they're going to do it. 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 Sadly not. Sadly, the Judgment Day did retain following sort of Dom interference, who was putting the foot of Finn Balor on the ropes. Damian Priest slid in to break up one of the pinfalls as well. And then it came down to sort of a big combo of, I believe it was a Razor's Edge. Was it a Razor's Edge? No, it was a double choke slam. So Priest hit a double choke slam on Bate and Dunne from the corner to the floor. Finn Balor ran up to the top and hit a big coup de grace stomp to Pete Dunne for the 1-2-3. Tyler Bate was fantastic in this match as the underdog babyface who had to claw back up, and Pete Dunne was great at getting the hot tags, showing the joint manipulation. Everything we loved about the Bruiserweight is seemingly back, but on the main roster, and teaming in with Tyler Bate I think is great. I think this team of the New Catch Republic, I've got so many theories of what they could do with it. You could bring in Charlie Dempsey, you could bring in William Regal to pair them up with. You could potentially bring back more people from the British scene and put them all together. This could be a really hot faction on the main roster, and I think they would benefit loads from splitting the tag titles. I don't think the tag titles need to remain across both brands, in my opinion, and that would be great for some of these teams who are just on the precipice, like New Catch Republic, like the Creeds, like DIY, who could really do with something to sort of catapult them up. But this was such a fun match. My match of the night, hands down. And I'm excited to see where we go from here. There was no R-Truth, though. No R-Truth, no Miz jumping in on this. So, yeah, we'll see where this tag title feud goes till WrestleMania. I hope there's a big tag team invitational and we can get more of catch Republic in the future. Then we got the Grayson Waller effect. Austin Theory was there. Grayson Waller came out to a big pop. Australian hometown boy. He brought out Seth Rollins. He brought out Cody Rhodes. He had a great line. I'm going to try and remember it off the top of my head, but I haven't got it. If I can't remember it, I will put it above my face. Something about like the American education system failing Cody Rhodes because he doesn't know how to finish a story. That was like one of the best lines I think I've heard from WWE in years. That was fantastic from Grayson Waller. Grayson Waller is tremendous. He's so good. He needs to break away. Hopefully he will. We'll get into this in a little bit. From the Austin Theory side of things, he could be a solo heel on his own. He's just that good. And Seth cuts a fiery promo. Doesn't really say much. Just hypes up WrestleMania. He says that he will be medically cleared in a few days. Cool. Okay. And then Cody makes the announcement, or the open challenge to The Rock, and says, I will fight The Rock whenever, wherever, like Shakira. And yeah, Rock Roman? No, Rock Cody. Is this setting up the tag match, or is this setting up a singles match? I think the route they should go with this is Rock versus Cody night 1, Cody Roman night 2, because then Cody's put in double duty. He's the injured babyface going in against Roman. And there's a lot of drama that you can play up with that. If we get the tag match as well, that's also fine. But I don't think that necessarily doesn't make me as excited as Cody pulling double duty. I think that works really well for his character and his story and the babyface persona that he's got. If we get it on Raw or SmackDown, like, okay, fair enough. But yeah, I think this was fine. This was, again, borderline just chill. Like, I didn't hate this. This was fine. It went too long, to say the least. All the babyfaces got in and jumped Austin Theory because Austin Theory said some heel things, and Grayson Waller didn't assist him. So maybe we're going to get this breakup of Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, and that'll be the split that we get, because Grayson Waller could do such good things on the main roster. He's just that good, and this segment was good. Then we got the men's Elimination Chamber as Randy Orton took on Bobby Lashley, took on LA Knight, took on Drew McIntyre, took on Logan Paul, who took on Kevin Owens. This match didn't sit right with me. I think I'm the only person who's sort of maybe down on this, but I didn't feel like this match gelled well at all in some of the things that they did with it. I think there was some nice moments in it, but for me, this didn't get going until Logan Paul entered at number 6. And you got that great visual of Kevin Owens standing outside the pod for Logan, and he just goes in and batters him inside the pod. I thought that was really funny, really cool. But sort of the eliminations, like, didn't sit well with me. Like, the Bobby Lashley elimination was fine. The AJ Styles one, because AJ Styles came out and started wailing on LA Knight with a chair, and then Drew McIntyre gets the pin on LA Knight, was okay, but at the same time. I feel like LA Knight, he was incredibly over. He entered last, like, not last, but he was the last person to enter, so they obviously saved that for a big babyface pop. And yeah, that just was underwhelming. I was figuring someone was going to get involved, but AJ Styles feels very, like, and I hate saying this because I love AJ Styles so much, it feels mid for how hot LA Knight is. And at the end of the match, I'll talk about my theories on where we go from here. But then you had those two eliminated, you had Bobby and LA Knight eliminated, and you had Drew, Logan, KO, and Randy. Randy selling his back in a scary way. Either he's just that good at selling, or something was wrong, in which case, I hope not, because you've just come back, Randy. Please don't be hurt. And then Randy Orton manages to get the RKO on Kevin Owens and eliminates Kevin Owens, which was weird, because Logan Paul was still in the match. I don't understand why you wouldn't have Logan eliminate Kevin Owens. They're the two that are feuding. Maybe Randy hits the RKO and Logan jumps in with a springboard or something, splash, 1, 2, 3. It felt weird, Randy Orton eliminating Kevin Owens. And then you're down to Logan Paul, Drew, and Randy. Drew and Randy have a stare off, and I'm like, this feels like I've gone in a time warp and we're back in, their never-ending feud in the Thunderdome, where Randy had the silly Splinter Cell glasses. They have a good square off with each other. Logan Paul, it gets involved. He goes to pull out the brass knucks. He pulls out the brass knucks, takes way too long doing it, yucking it up. And then in a great piece of camera work, I thought you were going to see Randy rise from behind him. But no, he runs in front, hits an RKO, 1, 2, 3. Logan Paul is eliminated. Then we get an okay sequence between Drew and Randy, which was okay. And then Logan Paul clocks Randy with the brass knucks. Drew wins. Yeah, I felt underwhelmed by this match. Underwhelmed in that they didn't present me with any other options of who's going to win other than Drew. And having Drew enter at number 2 technically, but he's in at the same time as LA Knight, so he's not. It's weird. They're technically both number 1. Was a bold choice as well, considering he's a heel. And I feel like he would have got the heat better if he'd have entered later. And the only other person I thought might win was an off-chance thingy of LA Knight, and he's eliminated straight away. So you had this big stretch of match where I sort of felt like, oh, this is just Drew winning. This is just obvious now. So yeah, I was underwhelmed by this match. Where we go from here, obviously Drew, the only Raw participant in the match, facing Seth at WrestleMania. Okay, I think the other thing we can do is a big multi-man for the United States Championship, because everyone's got beef with everyone now. Have AJ, Randy, Kevin Owens, LA Knight, Logan Paul, all in the mix for the United States Championship, and throw a ladder in there. That sounds about right. I think the ladder option and the multi-man match is more interesting to me than seeing, say, Randy Orton, which is Logan Paul, which is what's seemingly been set up. That's like my least option. I don't want to see that. I would rather see Kevin Owens get his rematch against Logan Paul, or LA Knight go into that picture. So yeah, I was underwhelmed by this match, and not my favourite chamber in the slightest, really. And then we got the main event. Mami is always on top as Rhea Ripley defended her Women's World Championship against Nia Jax in her home country of Australia. This over-delivered for me in the fact that I went in thinking it could potentially be a train wreck. But this was like a really solid main event. Again, it was hampered by the fact that we all knew Rhea was retaining. Like, there's no way Nia Jax is going to win here. But I think Nia Jax did some good heelish stuff to get the heat from the crowd, hitting the big sort of bonsai drop for a great near fall where it looked like Rhea really struggled to get herself up out of that one, putting Rhea through the table with a Samoan drop, and then a silly looking elbow drop off one of the chairs. And I think they worked quite well together. I think this was probably the best Nia match that I've seen. I've not seen her match with Bayley from TakeOver London, I think it was. So this is probably the best Nia match that I've seen. And I think Rhea was a big part of that. I think Nia has been back on form since she returned to WWE. And they had, like, I was expecting the ring to implode when Rhea hit that superplex. I thought that was the route we were going to go with this. But no, she managed to power up Nia Jax for a superplex and then hits the Riptide for the 1, 2, 3, retaining the championship, setting match as Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. The card is taking shape. Overall, I thought this was a really good match. Like, it didn't underdeliver for me. It didn't overdeliver. It was just really, really good. It was just a solid wrestling match. And yeah, I'm really excited for the main event. Not the main event. Well, it might be the main event. I'm really excited for Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. I think that match could be incredibly good. And overall, Elimination Chamber, I would be like crazy if I didn't just give this a 3. This was just a perfect 3 out of 5 show for me. 4 matches, a talk show segment in the middle. It was completely fine, and I got to watch it live at UK time, which was fun. So yeah, 3 out of 5 for me. And I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Did you love this? Did you hate it? Let me know everything you want, and I'll try and apply to every single one of them. Thank you all ever so much for your support, and have a nice day.